Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the Uberleben Zunden fire starter. Alright everybody, welcome back. So I got something kind of neat for you today. Probably most of you following the channel know what that is. It's ferrocerium rod. But I had somebody, when I was doing a video, I don't know, last week sometime, ask me what I used to start the fire. What was that tool? So I figured instead of doing a whole separate video on a bunch of different ferro rods, I'd show you one that's my favorite. Okay, and this is one out of one of my bug out bags. This is the Uberleben, and this is the Fatty. This is the 1/2 inch thick ferro rod. It's good for 20,000 plus strikes. I'm going to give you a quick up close and personal look at it. It has been used, but not much. But I figured I'd demo it for the video. Now Uberleben does leave that handle there, just plain natural. So if you want, you can cover it up with something. The little bit that I've used it, I've kind of darkened it a little bit, but you don't really have to. There's no real reason to do it or not. One of the things that you'll notice here, when I want people to understand, is when you're using this for the first time, you do have to take off this black coating. You'll see where I've done that there. And really, this was packed in one of my go bags, and I just took it off, tested it to make sure it worked, and put in there. So I haven't really used this one much. But it does come with a striker, and you have multiple size options with these. You can get in 3 different thickness variations. You can get the traditional one, which is 5/16 thick, and that's good for about 12,000 plus strikes. Then they have the Pro, which is 3.8 inches thick, can't speak today, and that's good for 15,000 plus strikes. And the Fatty here, which is a 1/2 inch thick, and it's good for 20,000. Now these are designed for neck carry. You can put this around your neck. You got yourself a tool for less than 3 ounces. You got the paracord lanyard, and you have the multi-tool striker. Now this does have a straight edge spine. However, one edge is sharper than the other, so you'll kind of have to run your hand over it. Like this area is rounded, so don't strike it this way. Strike it on this end or this end where it's kind of sharp on the end there. And you do have the bottle opener and a little hex wrench there. And you do have a scraper up here. And if you notice, I've actually used that scraper a little bit. This is really good for fat wood. And we're going to demo it later with some fat wood, and I'll show you what I do with it. You can stick a piece of fat wood in there and just scrape it down, or scrape the spine of it, kind of like the spine of a knife would do. Scrape the back of it like the spine of a knife would do. And it does a good job getting you a bunch of tinder from it. So pretty much it's a simple tool. Again, it's a ferrocerium rod, so it's a mixture of metals that will spark when you strike it. And that's kind of what you're looking for. And this is definitely one of the better ones. They have a proprietary, I know I'm going to mess this up, Core ferrocerium. It's a blend between softness and durability, and it can shower a bunch of 5,000 degrees sparks down on whatever you're trying to light up. So that makes it waterproof as well and works at any altitude. So very, very handy, and that's usually what I'm using. For those of you that may not know what this tool is, something like this is usually what I'm using in a lot of my videos. I'm going to show you an example of another one that I use. And this is one that I use in the channel all the time, so it's pretty well used. This is when I just threw some fat wood on the end there. So if I ever had to make some tinder, I have it. And I just glued it in there. It's not straight. You can see it's kind of crooked to one side. But that's one that I use in the channel. Not as good as the sparks you get off of this one, but it works. You know, pretty much it's whatever you can afford. I will put a link down below. I believe these are about 17 bucks, 18 bucks. However, when your life depends on making a fire, it's worth it to spend a little extra. These really, really work well. And we're going to do a demo at the end here of a couple of different tinders that I use, and we're going to see how well it works. Now, another thing about having a ferro rod is it gives you the chance to practice. And that's why I say maybe get yourself a cheapy one like this to practice with, because the harder it is to use, the better you'll be when you get a good one and you have to use it. And of course, test it out, make sure everything's okay with it. But you know, if you're going to put it away, get a cheap one to practice with. Not only will it help you be a better starter of fires with these ferro rods, but it will also help you figure out which tinder in your area is good, which tinder behaves like what. Getting a fire started, you know, in general, is definitely good practice. And this is something you can do. I mean, I'm trying to think of the smallest place I ever lived in upstate New York, and I still had a little tiny backyard. that I could have brought out some tinder and made a little fire in a coffee can. So this is a skill you can practice almost anywhere. Even if you're careful indoors, again, I have a metal plate here that I'm going to do this on, but I would suggest doing it outside just because it's safer. And these things do throw sparks everywhere. So what I'm going to do is bring up some tinder here and show you how this works with the various tinders. All right, so what I have up here is some fat wood, and that's this little chip, the chips back here in this piece here. And I have some jute twine, which I have taken apart and kind of made very loose so it'll catch a spark well. And of course the good old standby, some cotton balls with some petroleum jelly on them. So we're going to try each one and see how well they work. So I'm going to show you how to scrape this. Let me get these out of the way because I don't want to start a fire on one of them when I just want to do the first one. So I'm going to show you this. This is the scraper edge on this here. And basically what you're going to do, just run it up and down like the back of a spine of a knife, and you get some good scrapings. And I do have some fat wood caught in there, so it's not scraping as well as it should. Because I tried this last night. I hadn't used this tool before, and I wanted to make sure it was actually doing like they advertised. So, and you can use this too if you want. That edge too works just as well. Okay, so there is your pile of fat wood there. Let me wipe that off so I don't have anything on there because my hands still have a little bit of petroleum jelly on there from making the cotton balls. So we're going to try this out. I'm going to use the area that I've already, there we go, already made a, those really do throw sparks well, already made a removal of the black stuff on there. And we're just going to go nice even strokes. And there you go. You get a little bit of the ferrocerium metal in there, a little of the mish metal in there, and then you just get a spark and up it goes. So it works really well with that. Let's move on to the next tinder. Once I can push that out of the way. See, we don't think of these things ahead of time, do we? All right. So we got the jute twine that I fluffed up. And again, too, when you're doing these, the tendency for new people to do it is to do it like this, far away from it. I say, get it down in there, hold it in place, and go. That one really goes up. Yeah, they're doing it like this. You're gonna get some sparks, but the chance of you hitting it is a lot better going straight in. All right. Yes, move the fire with the fat wood. That definitely won't catch fire. Lastly is a couple of cotton balls with some petroleum jelly on them. I would have tested my favorite fire starter, which is dryer lint, but I know that's going to work if this stuff goes up. So let's try this. There you go. And as you can see, I'm just doing a nice, slow, gentle ride down the rod. You know, I'm not scraping and throwing. Just a slow, gentle movement down there. And these do work very, very, very well. So there you go. I brought a couple of these little pieces out to toss in there to show you can actually build a little fire if you want. And again, like I said, I'm doing this indoors. I have a fire extinguisher over there. I have the side door open. So it's safe for what I'm doing. But I would suggest you do this outside normally. It's a little bit easier to film this inside so you can see the effects of what goes on. But anyway, this is the Uberleben ferro rod, and this one is the fatty. This is the thicker one. And so far, you know, from testing it out here, you can see it works very, very well. This will be going back into my my bug out gear because it's definitely one I want to have with me when I absolutely have to start a fire. And that's why I say it's good. It's a good skill to practice with maybe a ferro rod that isn't the best. You know, it'll make you a better fire starter if you're practicing with something that's hard to do. Kind of like, you know, when I go shooting, if I haven't shot for a while, I'll take out a mouse gun and shoot it because it's harder to hit the target with. Then when I'm shooting my full-size gun, I'm a lot more accurate because I'm already brought down to that smaller size. Same goes with a ferro rod. You know, if you have one that doesn't work that great, it's good to practice with. I've even, hold on one second, I'll show you the other. I've even practiced with one of these old military mag bars. You've seen me light fires with these. And I mean, that's a tiny little ferro rod with the magnesium bar. And you know what? It's good practice. if you can start a fire with one of these, you can definitely start a fire with one of these. So anyway, that's the Uberleben Zunden fire starter. That is the fatty. I will put the link down below so you can pick one up if you're interested. They're a little more expensive than most ferro rods, but they seem to do the job very, very well, as you can tell. So, you know, it's kind of worth it if it's a life or death situation where you have to get a fire started. And as I said, they do have the wood handle there. You don't have to really do anything to it. They say, you know, let your calloused hands make... I actually have it written up here. I thought it was kind of funny. Left natural, ready to earn that seasoned finish, oil, grit, and bare calloused hands. So... I'm probably just going to leave it natural anyway. It kind of has a little gritty feel to it, and you can hold on to it. But now some people have had a problem with these falling out. Again, if you're doing it the way I showed you, you're not going to be, you know, banging into this thing and slamming it. You're going to be right on the thing, starting it like that, real easy. So you probably won't have that problem. You're not going to be pushing down like this. You're just going to be a gentle, easy movement and get it lit. So I will put a link down below. And you can see if they're right for you. I would definitely suggest them for times when a fire has to start, you know, when there's no option for failure. They definitely work very well, and whatever kind of combination of metals and stuff they have in there seems to be a very good fire starter. Anyway, folks, check that link out. Don't forget to check out our link down below that, which will be our Amazon store. You can shop in there. If there's nothing you like in the store, shop as you normally would. It helps out the channel. And don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link down below. We have lots and lots of freeze-dried stuff. If you're new to freeze-dried food and you want to get a chance to try some out that's really, really good, you can buy one can of something. You don't need to join anything, or, you know, you can just shop as you need to. And it's definitely good stuff. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.